Hi everyone, welcome to Takes with Argus. We're a podcast where we talk about everything and anything from students' perspective. And today we're going to be talking about internships, what you don't learn in studio, what you can learn at different offices, at different experiences from different backgrounds. And and is it really worth it or not? And more stuff. We have three lovely guests, so please introduce yourselves. Anybody maybe? Yeah.
Hi, this is good. Hi, I'm Maya. I'm from Turkey, and I'm an MSc1 student. So this is my first year of masters, and I've done a bunch of internships. I don't know how long the internship be. Okay.
We'll get back to it.
All right.
And what about you two?
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm from Canada. I'm in the MSc too. And literally today, I just finished my MBA internship over in Rotterdam. Hooray! Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name's Anissa. I'm also in second year. I'm doing the Urban Architecture graduation studio, and it's really nice to be here and talk about internships with you all.
Yeah. So we have a few, we're trying a new format where we have a few quick fire questions, like hot takes. So just like one word answer or a sentence or something. So first is sorry. What is one word that you associate with internships?
Networking,
Ah, fair.
unfortunately.
Yeah, exposure.
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Should you ever accept an unpaid internship? Yes or no?
I'm guilty for this. I want to say no, but unfortunately, I did. So I don't know.
I think you should, but it's insane that you would have to. So I think personally, it's a good choice, but it's a bad thing in the industry, I guess. So like
Maybe-
it's selfish, but maybe it's a huge leg up.
It's not your responsibility as a person. Fine, it should change within the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would really want to say no, but I mean, it's really hard to find internships, and you know, if something comes along your way, and I guess you have no option to do it. So I don't know. I'm in the middle. Yes and no.
Okay. What is one thing that an internship of yours has taught you?
How to climb scaffolding.
Really? Like physically?
Yeah.
Lovely.
I think like really being aware of like the soft skills. Like you can be like the best modeler in the world, but if you can't like program your own time and like really deliver what's expected, that matters like low key more than what you can do, I would say.
I think also it's getting to know the people in the office. Obviously, like architecture and working on the computer is super important, but also communicating with the people around you, I think, is really important as well.
Yeah. So more the social skills as well.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's dive a bit more into like your personal experiences. So maybe you could share how many internships you've done and where. And then and which office I think people would like to know, names and stuff. Just to know,
Name
just to give an
dropping.
idea. Yeah. Name drop and rate out of 10.
Okay, maybe I won't rate, but
No, okay. That's just a choice. If you want or if you don't want.
I worked at 3 different companies, all based in Paris, over the span of like almost 2 years-ish, in between my bachelor and my master. And so I first worked at Dubuisson Architects, which is a French firm. Super nice, but I had to speak in French, so I was there also to learn my French. And then I moved to Su Fujimoto after Dubuisson, so I was there for 6 months, and then they hired me as a freelancer for a little bit to finish a competition that I was working on. And then I moved to Kengokuma after that for another 5 months, because I was just looking for something in between ending Su Fujimoto and then starting my master's here. So I was quite lucky with how I got in. I literally just showed up to their office, dropped off my CV, my portfolio, and then the next day at like 8 a.m. they were like, okay, yeah, you can start. When do you want to
crazy.
start?
Insane.
So,
Yeah. That's such
yeah.
short time. I feel like normally you wait for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Or
I've
months.
never had that experience before.
yeah, I think it's because I physically showed up and
Yeah.
dropped it off. Maybe I
true.
think that was a big thing. So yeah.
Okay. Which one was your favorite?
Right into it.
Yeah. I would say, I think Kuma was my favorite, I would say. I definitely had a bit more free, what do you call it?
Freedom?
Freedom, yeah, with Su Fujimoto. But the office dynamics were a bit different from Kuma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. My favorite one, I don't know, I learned the most at the construction side, obviously. It was a construction company called Mesa. It was in Turkey. You probably won't recognize any of the names that I'm going to mention. They're not famous names. But I know that the office that I'm going to mention, they're going to really appreciate this exposure. So, yeah, so Meydan is was the office internship that I did, and it was actually great. Like, I have no notes. I learned a lot about restoration there. They were like a family as well when I walked in. It was a very small office. Like the first day that I went there, they kind of played a joke on me. Really? Yeah, they acted like the blinds were closed, like the office was closed. And I was just waiting there, like, what's happening? And then they were like, come on in. You know? And I don't know, just like they were celebrating something the first day that I came there. So we cooked together as well. And it was all very good. Learned a lot. Great people.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've only done one internship, like a loser. And it was just, this MBRVD. I applied like I took a break from the first year of the master's to do it. I'd actually applied like last fall, but then I never got their email in my junk box.
It ended up in your junk box?
Yeah, it was in my junk box. So I just completely missed their response. So I like did it like 6 months later than I kind of initially intended.
Okay.
But yeah, just MBRVD was it so far.
Fresh out the oven.
Fresh out the oven. Yeah. Hot
crazy.
takes incoming. Yeah.
Okay. And also, is there a reason? I mean, you shared a bit that it was mandatory, but then you also did one that was voluntary. So why did you even want to?
Okay. I think when you're looking for a job, you just don't want to sit still. You want to do something. And an internship is like the next best thing when you think about it. Like, it's a career move, sort of. So it's like, it's something, you know? Yeah, so when you're fresh out of school, you don't want to wait for a job. I think that was kind of the vibe for me.
To build up the CV.
Yeah, I mean, I already had a lot of internships, to be fair. Like, the job market was a bit dire, so I was just doing my best, honestly, like, trying to survive.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, both of you? Why did you want to do an internship? Why did you pursue this?
Oh, mine was like, I feel like it's a little boring. It was like kind of for me 90% just like a complete strategic career advancement move. Like it was like purely out of like an insecurity of like getting a job after. And then I think just being able to get like a big name like that on the CV. And then 10% was like actually seeing what it's like in these big crazy firms to see if that's like a direction we want to go in. But like, yeah, if I'm being honest with myself, it was, doing the mental math of if it's like 6 months of unpaid or like low-key unpaid work is worth more than 6 months at some random firm afterwards.
Or even waiting to find something, because it takes time.
Something, yeah. So for me, it was doing that math, and then at least in the Netherlands, you have to be a student to do an internship.
Yeah.
True.
Which is like another thing I'd love to get into. But so that's part of the thing too. I had to do it sometime in my studies. So I was like, doing it in between the 2 years of the master's makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so that's kind of where I was at with it.
For me, because I studied in the UK and you have, it's recommended that you do like a year of experience in between your masters. But then kind of like 6 months after graduating, I decided to not go back to the UK to continue my master's, but I knew that I would have just continued doing like working in between. And I thought like after a year had passed, or even like up until the 6 month mark, you have to like apply for universities and I don't know, in the springtime. And that was just way too fast for me. So I decided to take another year out and take my time and enjoy kind of this 9 to 5 life. But we'll get into that later, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And just I'm curious, Tim, for you, because you said you just wanted to also see like the 10%, see how it's really like. How was the reality compared to like your expectations and everything?
True. I think for yeah, like I'm not sure if MVRD specifically is anyone's cup of tea or not, but that aside, I was surprised how like progressive the internship experience was. Like it didn't feel like a huge like sweatshop that they're forcing you to do crazy production hours.
Thank God, though. Did you really expect that?
I don't know. I think like you hear things about like big and like all the big ones, the star architect firms. I've always heard it's like a butcher shop is what they say. But like at least here, maybe I was lucky or something, or my specific studio was chill.
Which
But
studio were you in?
I was in DAS, so I was in the German one for most of my
Okay.
experience. But then I also asked to switch to like another one at the end, just to see like what something else looked like. But for me, it was pardon.
What was
Americas?
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I was actually on like a Canadian project, which is kind of cute.
Nice.
But in general, I think the culture on internships there was super chill. Like you could do what you wanted. You could be on the projects you wanted. You could do the kind of work you wanted. You could like do stuff you were good at, stuff you wanted to improve on. Like I have to say, like they really approached that really well, and you had the autonomy in the agency to kind of work on what you wanted to work on. So that was, I think, the best part for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really nice.
Pleasantly surprised, better than expected.
Pleasantly surprised there, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
I don't think I had many expectations because I started doing internships when I was in the first year of my bachelor's. So it's basically like you kind of find time to do internships in the summer and like breaks and stuff like that. That's kind of how they integrate into the like program in Turkey. So yeah, I didn't have many expectations because I didn't know much about architecture when I first started. And yeah, the first internship that I did was a bit like an internship from hell, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so basically it was kind of like I don't want to talk too negative, but when I first came there, it was like a shouting match between the boss and like the people working there. And, you know, it was, I mean, on my part, it was unpaid. Like, he probably paid the workers like others who actually worked there, hopefully. And like they didn't pay for food or transportation or anything. And I come from Istanbul, it's a big city, so it's like, yeah, you have to pay for transportation and stuff too. Yeah, so it was a bit awkward that way. I don't think that shaped my opinion on architecture in general, because I was like, this has to be a anomaly. Yeah. This has to be, you know, not the rule, which it wasn't. So I'm glad about that. And yeah, but I think I bonded a lot with people working there, so that was maybe the only nice part, actually.
Yeah, for me, I think I realized that the workplace environment was more laid back than I thought, in a way that like people weren't just robots, like they had like a personality to them, and like you don't have to be glued to your desk the entire day. Like you can get up and talk to people. And I thought it was this strict, like you stay in front of your computer, you sit there, you do your renders, your drawings, and then you go home. But no, it was nice to see that. Maybe also because I worked with like a bunch of French people and they're very relaxed. They take their coffee, cigarette breaks here and there. And but I mean, I also worked with some internationals and they were the same. They were not so strict on themselves, I would say, when working, but still produced at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Was it quite dynamic? Like, were you guys able to like move between model making or like site visits and stuff? Because I found like in my experience, it was super like desk oriented the whole time.
For me, I even like told them like, hey, I want to go on, I want to do a site visit, or like I want to build a model. Like, is there any possibility for me to do something with that? Or like if I felt like I was lacking something in one area, I would just approach my project manager and he would be super accommodating to put me on another team or like help out with other things. So it was nice that I had the chance to like speak up about what I missed from or like what I'm missing from my internship. And yeah, they were super accommodating about that. But I didn't really do site visits, actually. I realize now.
I think that's nice. It's a good question because I feel like I got stuck into thinking I was just an intern and I should just do what I'm told at the beginning, at least for my first proper experience. And so I wasn't super satisfied, or I didn't feel that challenged. And I kind of got put to do things I was good at, so like more repetitive things and tasks and so on. And at some point, at the end of the internship, he told me that I should have, like, he actually wanted me to be a bit more outspoken of what I wanted to do and what I wanted to experiment with. I was like, oh shit, like I didn't really realize
Because they don't know, like, what you have done, what you haven't
it's also
done.
fair.
So,
But I didn't realize, I don't know, I should
you didn't know that you could speak up about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit rude. I don't know. There was also no like structure. I didn't really have any like oh fuck, how'd you say? Stable meetings, like regular meetings with my supervisor or something. I would have to be like, okay, should I ask for a meeting? But we're also working in front of each other. So, but a chat is a bit weird, and like I didn't really know how to navigate my position within, you know.
Yeah.
So I think also that I wanted to know how you feel about the hierarchy within an office. If you had different experiences, and how did you feel about your place as an intern? Because at the end of the day, you also don't have that much, decision making and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it changes per office, and the size of the office, the culture of the office, like if people are willing to listen to you or even like care about what you're learning, which is really important. Like that's why we're doing it at the end of the day. Yeah, so I think I had like varied experience in that. Like sometimes they really didn't care. Even if I told them, they were like, yeah, we're just busy. Like, get out of my hair, you know? But,
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I was like, dynamics. Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, I think to answer the question, what set like a lot of the interns' experience apart with my batch, because there's like 20 of us, was like if the ones who were like comfortable kind of taking their own initiative really, I think, got the most out of it. Because I think it is super intimidating if you're like 21 and you're in this like, big name place or whatever. It's kind of scary to ask for like the stuff you want and to really like demand things from people. But I think like for some of us, and I'm also like just older and I've been in an office before, so I think I was a bit more comfortable navigating those spaces. But I think that really defines a lot of what you can take out of an experience like that. So yeah, definitely ask for what you want.
You said you were in an office before, so you had worked, and then this is the first time you do an internship after working?
Yeah. I've worked like 7 years at like an Excel desk job.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what is this lore? I didn't know about this. 7
I was an
years?
Excel jockey for like, for a super long time.
But within architecture?
No, for like Bell Canada, shout out. It's like just a telephone network in Canada. Yeah, very random.
Wow.
But I've now office dynamics, man. Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as I mentioned before, it was nice that I could kind of say what I was lacking or like what I wanted to take out of this internship, especially because when I did my first one, I kind of just sat there and like accepted all the tasks that they were giving me, and then my boss was like, you're not really like, you haven't said really what you want to do, what you want out of this. So I realized I didn't know I had that power to say something. So then definitely after I was a bit more affirmative with what I wanted. And then working at SU, it was nice because you couldn't really sense the hierarchy, the levels of hierarchy there. I was like, as an intern, I was the one like sending the design packages to Sue and being like, hey, Sue, I attached the PDF here. Hope you're fine. Let us know your comments. And then you respond like, hey, Anissa, see the comments below. I'm like, okay, I just had a conversation with Sue, which was really nice on Slack. Literally, hey, remember me? So it was really nice that I could literally, like, I didn't have to send it to my project manager, who then sent it to him. He was just like, I mean, you have the package, just send it to him, send a message. So,
I feel like so quite a bit of trust as well.
Exactly.
I think that changes a lot.
For sure.
I think, I mean, I think it also depends on countries. I mean, you've done in Paris, right? Like all of them were in Paris.
Yeah.
But having done one here in the Netherlands and then the one I did in Madrid, the guy literally like was kind of like the stereotype of a star architect and came in and was like, yeah, at your age, like you should be grateful I'm talking to you. You should be, like you should be working for 20 hours a day and sleep 4. And like they
What?
did not pay us. We were like an hour away from Madrid, like Madrid, you know, it was not technically Madrid. And we were not paid. We were put into like a little apartment, 3 rooms, and we're like 12 of us or something, the smallest kitchen.
Wait, what do you mean by like they housed you and then?
Yeah, they housed me, but that's it.
Wait, 3 rooms between 12.
Like something like that. Like we were. Oh no, maybe I'm stretching it. But it was like I was in a
Like it. Bunk beds and all.
I promise it was terrible.
What was the name of it?
No, but we
the
were
name.
2. I do not recommend. We were 2. Honestly, I don't give a shit. We were 2 in the. We were in a little room, and it was a girl and I, and we arrived the same day, and we were sleeping in like an IKEA bunk bed for children. Like I'm small, okay? If you know me, if you see me in real life, I'm small.
This is a licensed
and
firm.
we were like, yes, but it was also some of the practices were super illegal, like the stuff we're doing and stuff like this. Like no, like yeah, like actually. You know, we were not technically allowed to work there in the office in Madrid because they didn't have the license, and they even got inspected at some point. And most of the workers, which is something that really shocked me, were actually employed from like India or Lebanon just for like cheap labor. And so there were only 1 or 2 people that, oh my gosh, will I get canceled one day for this? I don't care. Listen, we need to speak up. We need to speak up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ensemble, Madrid.
Say it again. Say it
I don't
again.
give a shit. Just check my LinkedIn. No, but honestly, because because honestly, I think he doesn't give a shit, you know, and like it's not fair. It's really not fair, and being taken advantage of people just because it's a good name and they're like I think he teaches in like Colombia or something. Maybe no, that I'm talking
The
about.
university or the country?
No, yeah, no. The university, like 1 year. Oh, maybe it's not. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But he teaches at like a big uni in the U.S. as well. So he has some sort of like people. Some people know it and they're like, oh my gosh, so nice, you know. And like, no, okay, that's it. But I wanted to say that actually I had a mentor during my bachelor's, and when I worked in Spain, I called her. I remember calling her and being like, what do I do? Because like I really feel like I've been burnt out. I'm being taken advantage of. I don't really have freedom. It doesn't fit my values. But it's such a bad, like, what do I put on my CV? Do I just say, oh, I stayed here for like 3 months? Like, it's weird. Like, how do I deal with it? And she told me, she was Italian, and she told me like, oh no, like everybody has to go through this kind of vibe. And that I found really hard because it's an old school perspective of like, you need to suffer and shut up. And it's for the bigger purpose and how to deal with that and how to, you know, where do you put your boundary? Also on overtime. You know, and on all these things, like you being an intern and understanding that this is, I think. How do you feel? Any thoughts?
I actually appreciate that you exposed them.
Thank you.
Because, I was like hesitant to mention, but like, the first internship that I did, the one from hell, he was just like such an angry guy the first day that I went to, like the boss, I mean. The first day that I arrived at the office, I was just like being nice, and he was like, oh, which school do you come from? And it was basically the TU Delft of my country. Like, it's called ITU, so shout out. So anyway, I told my school, and he was like, I studied at Harvard, but I'm not as arrogant as you guys. And I was like, what? Like, this is my first year, and I did my first year in, what's it called? COVID. So I didn't even know anyone from school. I didn't have any school spirit. I was like, that's crazy what you just said. And apparently he says this to like every person from my school that just arrives there. So, and I don't know, I just remember these times that he was like so angry, and then like he was just like, I don't know, we speak with gestures in Turkey. It's just like he was gesturing with his phone, and then he accidentally threw his phone at me. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
that was insane. What you just did.
I feel like
You
mine
see
was
me?
remarkably chill. Like, I feel like I got away with it a little
phone
bit.
company.
The phone, okay, the phone
Yeah,
company.
that's also fair. Wow.
The phone company was chill too. No, I think my experience was very chill. I think I got lucky, but like I didn't have to face that many like huge.
What do you mean by
challenges.
you got lucky? Like they didn't work you overtime, or
like they didn't. There was like almost no overtime, and the workload, like they didn't just put a mountain of tasks on my table. Like so like that was pretty chill. But I feel like the meat and potatoes could be like if like an internship is worth it, because I know I was personally like agonizing over that a ton. Like I even like talked with my studio prof to see like, is this worth it? Because to me it was like, am I going to spend 6 months and money essentially to like do this whole thing? And I was almost going to ask you guys if I'm allowed to ask a question.
Of course.
Like to you guys, do you think doing an internship for like people who are like considering it is worth it?
I mean, It's really hard to say because you can't really be picky with the internships, but at the same time you should be picky. Like try get some recommendations from friends and see what the office is about, because like what they show on their website is not like, you can't figure out the office dynamics through just this facade, you know. So it's really about knowing how the office operates and what the dynamic is, and if you hear one bad story, get out.
Yeah, that's true.
So we have in my old school, in my bachelor's, like we had a period in Turkey that's there were a lot of protests going on, and during that period, the BK faculty of my school, basically Taşkışla, again shout out, so they had this platform on Instagram. They were posting a lot of like political stuff, and you know, among all that, they posted basically some posts like exposing the companies that people had horrible experiences at. So I think that was really helpful as well to people, because like for a while, like you don't really have a voice, especially if you're in your like doing your bachelor's with no work experience. I think it's kind of like students sticking together in a way as well, like kind of getting each other's backs. So that I really appreciated.
Let's normalize leaving reviews on architecture
We
practices.
should. There should
Glassdoor
be like
reviews.
an internship thing. Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
set up a page. We'll start.
We'll do something.
Yeah.
No, true. I think it's 100% worth it, I would say, because to me it was really nice to be able to have like a few experiences, really short, like 6 months or a year in different practices. And I think once you actually work, it's a bit, I've heard by a lot of people, like it's a bit bad on your CV if you just keep on hopping from office to office. It's a bit like, oh, are you the problem? Or, you know, like, why can't you stay? Why can't you build something long term? So I think having the opportunity, doing that with an internship, because it's okay, it's actually fine. So I would definitely recommend, like, I think it's really good that you try something and not just go into the industry without having an internship. I think, for sure.
Yeah. But
Even
the
if it
thing
doesn't
is,
go well, you know?
like we all did internships, and we're like super privileged that we got to afford these
100%.
internships, you know. And it's just like, I try to put myself in the shoes of, what if I couldn't afford this? Like, what do I do now? Like, am I just gonna do 2 years doing a separate side job that's outside of architecture? Like, what are the steps that you can take if you can't afford to do an internship? And I try to think about this, but I really can't come to a conclusion, because it's really unfair that if you want to do an internship, you have to afford it yourself. It's not up to the company's not going to pay enough for you to sustain your life, basically.
I think that that's like what I'm wrestling with the most with this question too, is like, of course it's a good thing to work for this firm and make the connections, meet the people, get the exposure. But for someone who doesn't have that opportunity, like, what's your play? Like, are you taking out a loan to do this like opportunity that will set you up in your career? Are you not? Like, of course, if you can afford to do this, you have the time and the money. It's like, of course it's great, but it's like, like,
at what cost?
At what cost?
Also, are we taking the place of, like, because we can afford it somehow, or are in a position, you know, being supported? Are we taking the spots? Like, are we allowing this to continue?
Yeah.
And are we taking the spots of people that cannot afford it? And then does the gap even get, you know, much bigger?
Exactly. Like, are we perpetuating this like exclusive club? Because
Yeah.
like, at least like the company I was at, like, they hired straight from the intern pool before they looked at anywhere else. So it's like, okay, so like suddenly what? Every big company is only hiring the kids who can afford to go another half year on top of paying for school.
Exactly.
After 6 years of school, like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
That was the same for my case as well. Like in Kuma, we were like 5 interns or something, and then 3 of us got selected to like proceed to the next step and like potentially offering us a job. But it really only happens if you've kind of proven yourself for 6 months or something there, and it's really limiting also that like your way in is through being, what do you call it, like an intern first, and then you can get a real job after. But it shouldn't be like that.
You need to sacrifice stuff and then maybe get an opportunity and be thankful. I just thought of something that maybe could be an option, because when you said, you know, it's about contacts in a way, like if you're already in it, then you could get an opportunity to stay. That I'm just thinking, if you cannot afford an internship, to just go to like architecture events. Like there's a lot of like in Rotterdam and stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening, lectures and so on, and maybe making contacts and then just getting a job. Like actually, I know it's not the best, but I think it does. Like internships allow you so much to like social to network network a lot. And the other thing is that there are more and more laws, thankfully, trying to put like minimum pay. And I know in Luxembourg as well, they raised it recently, and I think also in Switzerland. Like there's a lot of countries where unpaid internship has become illegal. So I think maybe voting as well, speaking up, and I think there are ways of like there is a change, I think, in the industry overall. I know there's offices that I love that say like even on their website like, we do not offer unpaid internships and that's it. We just employ. Sucks because I would have loved to go there, but you know, like but then I was like, yeah, fair enough. Actually, that's good, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Just a few thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No? Okay.
What was that?
Well, I was gonna say.
I was just enjoying whatever you were saying.
No, I thought you wanted to say something before, so I was like, no, I'll get back to you. Oh no.
Yeah, like I feel like if I could talk to myself when I was debating about this, I would have said like for sure go for it because you like professionally it's really doing what you think it might do. And I think just selfishly right now, even though I think the whole idea of it is quite archaic, and like in Canada it's illegal to like not pay people for work. So I think that like while you wait for the industry to catch up, you should like advocate for that and everything. But I think if you're being selfish professionally, I think it's still very much the play to do this kind of stuff, which is unfortunate. And I don't know if like I'm not sure what the ethics here are, if you should like refuse to do it or not. But it's definitely giving you a huge leg up. So.
Yeah, architecture stuff like I don't know. There's just a whole bunch of people looking for a job, and you kind of do whatever you have to you know
To stand out.
to stand out.
Also, us just being in this university.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this. Well, you tell me. Your second years. I don't know if this university like gives you a leg up or not.
Maybe
actually.
Tim is
Well,
the
just the
person
name
to ask.
itself.
The university? Oh yeah. I think for the internship, like just being from Delft or going to TU Delft, and like being local was just a ticket into
Yeah,
the
fair.
internship.
Golden ticket.
Yeah, like
Because I applied for like 2 just to taste test the waters here in the Netherlands, and yeah, I don't know. I think I got rejected from one, and the other I haven't heard from. So, like, does this name work really or not?
Actually, I'm really curious. Maybe more for you both, but like, how many offices did you apply to, and how many did you get rejected from before you got in to
I
your?
was just thinking about this as well. Do you have it answered?
Classified.
Truly.
It's a big number. I don't exactly know the number myself, so
Yeah.
you go ahead.
No, it's same. Honestly, I would say same. I remember when I finished my bachelor's, I applied to a bunch. Like I think probably like 30, over 30.
In the UK or
No, anywhere.
Okay.
Like anywhere. Actually, some contacted me, which I was like, huh? But I didn't want to stay in the UK, so I was like, fuck it. And also, it was something it wasn't like, I didn't want to work in that specific office. But I think there were 2 that just sent an email because that does help. I think trying to like also doing your studies somewhere where you'd like to work, it's much easier to get connections. But anyways, so a lot. I think like over 30, and then one reached out like a year later where I was like, come on, at this stage, I'm sorry, but I'm doing other things. Yeah, not many answered. Like I think less than 5.
It should be the common courtesy to just send an email back saying like, "Hey, sorry, no."
Yeah. And then I had a question that I think kind of links to what we've been saying. What do you feel like it has taught you most about architecture and also about the industry?
Okay, so about architecture, I think you like one valuable thing is that you can't get like construction sites experience at a school most of the time. Like if it's not some fancy like I don't know some different new generation school, like it's valuable. It's different, and I think it helps the way you draw as well. That's what I figured out for myself. At least like technical drawings, that helps. And also like socially, I this one I didn't expect, I don't know why, but like you're just surrounded by so many different kinds of people, like from all walks of life, in like a place that's kind of unconventional as well. Like you don't just go to a construction site. So we have this joke back home that like Turkish people love watching construction happen. It's just like, yeah, like, yeah. That, but if you're not that, you probably are not at a construction site. So that's I think that's valuable. And office as well, I think you kind of have to behave in a certain way. So like that you have to learn through an internship or something.
Understand the codes.
Yeah, understand the codes, like really be smart about it, like interact with people in a meaningful way, not like don't be fake. That one thing that really pisses me off is like the whole really businessy thing. It's just not for me. I don't think so. Like I would rather be in a more genuine place, or at least be more genuine myself. So yeah, that's something, I guess.
Go for it.
I feel like learning that like money is tight everywhere in the industry was kind of like super demoralizing a little bit. I was kind of excited to like go to these the big crazy firm and then be like, oh, they're caking, like there's too much money, they don't know what to do with it. But to really like learn it's industry wide and it's always a question, and like contracts are always up in the air. They're like getting a permanent contract at these places is like never guaranteed. Like every project has a really intense budget. Like it's kind of tough that it's everywhere. It's tight. It's a tight run fiscal ship. So yeah, I think that was kind of a huge learning moment for me. But yeah.
Could you rephrase the question again?
What has it taught you about the industry and architecture?
Okay. About the industry? Oh my gosh. I'm blanking.
I feel like
I also answered the question wrong, I think.
no, it's okay.
About the industry? I mean, okay, I would say some part of the stereotype is true. Like you do work overtime, but then also depends where you work. But in my case, like the French one, no, because I guess it's a French office and people like the French were like 6 p.m. we're out, you know, we're done. But at the Japanese office, because it was a bit more international, we did have to stay overtime, especially like the interns also. But they wouldn't really ask you, but then kind of be like, hey, we have this deadline and you're doing this task, so we need it tomorrow. So you kind of have no choice. Yeah. So like in a way asking you, but not really. So like this whole stereotype of long hours and how it translates from university all the way into the office, it's just like, it's something we need to stop. Like we need to stop like killing ourselves over this. This is really...
Or at least get paid for overtime. I don't know if that's an idea.
Well, yeah, I remember I have an experience about this. I was working at Sue and luckily I was already hired as a freelancer at this time, so the hours I would work overtime, they would pay me back. But we were chasing a huge deadline for a competition, and I was working from 9 till midnight every single day for 1 month, weekends included.
Really?
What the fuck?
For 1 month. And that was just the worst month of my life. It was like in February or something.
That was an internship?
No.
I just finished my internship, and then they were like, hey, we need you to stay for another month or two for this competition. So they hired me. So luckily I was paid for the time I spent. But still, like, I should have learned how to say no, honestly. But yeah, it was crazy.
There's also this like masochistic pride in it still. Like people are like proud of like the overtime, and I find that so crazy. Like in any other career, it'd be seen as a failure if you had to go in on the weekend to finish. Like if I was a project leader and my intern is spending the weekend here, I'm like, you're doing something wrong. Like I don't know why that's accepted. Like even like when you think about it from a business standpoint, it's like you want to at least like it's worse for everyone. I don't understand it at all.
It shouldn't be something that's glorified, like this whole working overtime thing. Like it's 2026. Like let's go past it.
Come on, figure it out.
Tim said it.
It's true. Oh my gosh. And with that, do you feel like going back to your studies? And I mean, you're just fresh, so I'm really curious. Like, how are you going to approach your studies differently? How are you going to approach your graduation? How has it changed you?
I think the big one is like taking the space from it has been huge, like from school, I mean. And then also I feel like maybe you guys agree, but like when you're sitting in an office, like practicing your skills all day, but you can't work on a personal project. Like I was just dying the whole time to like do something for myself.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just gets you really amped to go back to school. So I think like taking a break and then going back to school with it's awesome because you have a whole new set of skills. You have a whole new perspective. Like it makes me really jazzed for like the thesis year in a way. Where, yeah.
It's exciting.
So yeah, for me, I'm stoked about it.
Yeah. What about you girls? How has it changed? Because you've both did it before your masters. So how has it changed your perspective between like how you were approaching projects in your work and uni and your bachelor's and masters?
Well, it's more like I think it made me aware of the economy in general, like you said before. It just kind of made me replan my whole like route, basically, like my life, in a way. Skill-wise, yeah, I'm happy for the skills. Like honestly, I think they're very helpful. Sometimes I just learned them on my own during the internship, or sometimes they just like somebody taught me something. So that always helps, of course.
Yeah, I think I have to agree in a way that I got a little bored in most of my internships, not gonna lie. Yeah. At some point, like I wasn't excited, about the work. I felt I was so surprised how market driven it was.
Yeah.
It was just like, we gotta do what we gotta do and 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 then you submit and And it really doesn't depend, like the architect really doesn't make most of the decisions, which is something I also didn't really know before. But it did help me being like, okay, yes, let's study and maybe I can be a little more intentional.
Yeah.
Maybe I also won't do architecture again, or maybe I won't go to the offices. Like, but I think it's easy also to get stuck in that. Like, it's a bit like, oof, okay. Like I romanticize, I think, a bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the line hovers a bit too close towards it being just like a very generic project management role, which could be anything, but you're being paid like a quarter of the amount or whatever. Like when it pushes like to that line too much, that's when I get scared of like the industry. So it's like I feel like the thing I learned about like maybe what I want to do is definitely sit as in the romanticized part of it as much as you can, because I think if you stray from that too far, then you start dooming pretty hard.
Yeah, if you can, of course. Like,
You kind of also learn like, okay, I've done this conventional architecture job, but I'm more interested in perhaps like stage design, or like you get to explore other parts of architecture as well that you can be curious, like I'm like blanking, sorry. Interested in, curious in. And I'm like, okay, you can kind of tick the boxes and you see what else is out there. Like architecture is not just about working in an office and drawing floor plans and making axos. I mean, there's so much more to it that's not really exposed, I would say, to us students. But then finding other ways of working within architecture, I think is also something I recognize from doing my internships.
yeah, it could be a design role and more like an art type of role. I don't know. I think it all kind of feeds into it as well. So, yeah, definitely. I think my recommendation would be like if you can't find an internship in architecture, which is very possible, go for other things that you can do. Like if you have other skills, like go for that. Actually,
or
like at least until you can, find a way to do architecture, because it can be hard. I don't know.
for sure.
Do you have any tips or like recommendations to people that have either not done one or would like to do an internship, or are having a hard time? Any tips and tricks?
I would say go in person. I feel like it's such an old school thing, but I did it for my interview, and you did it for yours, and I think it really does make a difference. Like
it puts a face to the name, which is nice.
I'd say and then I think the other thing, maybe the obvious thing, is like like internship also lets you see if you like architecture. I feel like we have this like sunk cost fallacy thing, where like that's a really great way to know if you want to pivot industries too.
Yeah,
So instead of like committing to a whole job.
I thought I was going to change. I thought I was going to become a cook after my internship. And I was like, maybe not.
Like physically print your stuff, sometimes they might keep it, and Yeah.
Also, I feel like, sorry, I'm going to do another one. I feel like the interview is not really about your work. It's about
you. Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people get stuck trying to sell their projects.
Yeah,
They're just trying to make sure you're chill
That's true.
and earnest and honest. And I
Yeah.
feel like if they feel like they can like suss something like you're doing too much,
Yeah.
I think that's the point of the interview. It's not about your work.
The interns are like the personality hires, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously the skill is important, but like you gotta sell yourself in a way. Like my interview was like an hour-long conversation with the project manager. So it was nice that I could just be myself and talk freely about me and not necessarily about the kind of projects I did before. So, yeah.
But I also was wondering whether you have one recommendation. We try to ask this to all our guests. Doesn't have to be related to internships, just in general. Architecture, not even. It can be a podcast or something that you find inspiring, creative, or whatever. It would be nice to have one from each of you, or two
Yeah.
if you can't choose.
Can we start from there? I'm trying to think of a name.
Yeah, well, mine's a bit more architecture oriented, but when I was living in Paris, I would subscribe to this magazine. It's called The Funambulist, and they talk.
Really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love them. I'm subscribed.
Oh, you too?
I always talk about them. Yes.
Really? Oh,
They're the
wait.
best.
Are you already recommended this?
Yeah, but it's fine.
Okay. But no, I thought it was like super interesting because it's not talking about architecture typically, but more about the politics of like space and body and like yeah. So I think I had like a full year of like magazines coming in, and it just got a bit too much where I couldn't keep up. So now I stopped the subscription.
But they're
But
quite
now
cheap and they have
they
student
are quite
discounts.
cheap.
So do support.
Yes, do support. But now I'm kind of looking back into them and seeing how they fit as well into my thesis. And yeah, very cool magazine. I recommend.
Nice. My reco is a bit random. It's like a Rhino YouTube tutorial channel called
No way!
by a Canadian actually called Nico Delic. I think he went to like U of T or something. But it's just super. It's like Gen Z 2-minute workflow tutorials to take you from like an intermediate to like expert Rhino level, and they're like mind blowing because it's more of like a workflow. So he's not like just telling you one thing you should do. He's like, this is how you should approach it, and it's like it changed the game for me for at least Rhino specifically.
Because our attention span only lasts.
Yeah,
2
exactly.
minutes.
Yeah. So
That's a good
In the form
one.
of
Nico
TikTok
Delic.
clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. But highly recommend.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would probably recommend like kind of informal stuff like zines and stuff like that. Like, things that come out of different groups of people. Like I've seen a lot about architecture as well over the years, so that's always nice. But also a book called A Burglar's Guide to the City. I like that one. It was, again, like a little bit unconventional. Like it was kind of like telling how burglars in the past like used to approach buildings and like see it as this, like you see a wall, you see an obstruction, but they don't. So it's just kind of like this weird way of seeing buildings. Yeah, I don't know. It's different. So it's
Oh,
fun.
that's nice. I like the perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Well, thank you to all of you for coming today.
Thank you for having us. Very cute.
For sharing your experience. I think it would be super nice for someone who has never done an internship or just to hear about different experiences and
What they
perspectives.
take out of this.
Yeah.
If it's yes, if it's no.
Yeah.
Do it, don't do it.
Yeah. Oh my god. Not yet. So yeah, thank you all for listening as well, and feel free to share with us also your takes on this or your experience in the comments. One day we'll get a comment. You never know. No, share in your offices. Send it back to your offices.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Maybe leave that out.
And we'll be filming a few more episodes in the future. So please do share any topics you'd like us to talk about. And you can find us on Argus on Instagram and Argus Takes on Spotify and YouTube. So yeah, thank you. Bye.